1 second, you're at half health. Next second, your enemies are dead and you're at full HP. This is the most broken class in the game. What's up, guys? It's Aaron Man. Hey, I want to let you guys know I put together a community Discord, so even if you're not in Asgard 09, come join, hang out. We do a bunch of deep dives all about the game. Everyone is welcome. We do have a couple really cool features. I ended up grabbing Meeseek's Premium, but the one main thing I'm really excited about is we added the translator bot, so you can talk in your language and the chats will automatically transfer and translate. They're all connected. If you don't see your language here, just let me know. I'm looking into adding some more channels and any other features you guys want to talk about. Just let me know. I can look into adding them. Come have some fun, you guys. If you're looking for a class that plays like a raging storm with a two-handed greatsword and shreds everything in its path while laughing in the face of danger, then you're gonna love this. In this video, we're gonna dive deep into the Berserker. I'm gonna go over all his skills, all his passives. I'm gonna give you guys the best PvE build and the best PvP build. We're gonna go over the best stats that you need to aim for, and I'm gonna give you the full truth as to why you should or shouldn't play this class. All right, so starting us off with Sword of Valor. It's the first skill in the chain link of 3, where this first attack starts us off with some simple damage. Then the second skill in the chain, Blade of Valor, again does some comparable damage. And then we come in with the third attack for increased damage and a chance to trip the target, stunning him, making him unable to do any action. This is a great chain combo, especially for your first skill. Next up, we have another chain that starts us off with Warrior's Battle Cry, and this is the self-buff chain. This first skill increases your damage reduction and increases your movement speed, while the second skill, Lion's Courage, increases your melee damage. Great chain skills for self-buff. Now your next ability is focused on taunt and crowd control with Pull-In. Pulls the enemy towards you and applies a 1-second stun. Additionally, it reduces the enemy's impact resistance, but the main thing here is it's going to be increasing your hate, enforcing a taunt. Taunt abilities on the Berserker are critical. Now next up we have Leap Attack, which is going to be your gap closer and AoE debuff. It is a chain attack, so this first attack is going to deal some damage and slow the target's movement speed. The second skill in the chain has a chance to blind the target, reducing his accuracy. Now next up we have Slam Down. This is your conditional finisher. This can only be activated if your enemy is tripped, dealing a nice chunk of 380% damage. Keep in mind this is on a 10-second cooldown. Then next up we have Spin Strike, AoE, CC, and taunt. That's what this skill chain is designed for. Spin Strike is going to set up the taunt and deal some nice damage. Then Beastly Strike is going to come in, deal some more damage with a major chance to trip your enemies in a giant AoE. This is great for farming, and in PvP it's a great frontline disruptor. And moving on, we have Counterattack. This is a reactive strike. This will trigger after a successful armor defense passive. It kicks the enemy with a chance to trip. This skill is situational, but it's great against fast attackers. Sword Blast, your short-range nuke. A nice chunk of damage with a solid chance to trip the target. This is going to be your rotation filler. Now Berserk Frenzy. Every Berserker is going to need to get this skill as soon as possible. This skill is transformative for the Berserker. It puts you into buff mode, increasing all your damage, increasing your crit strike chance, and healing you based on how much damage you deal. This skill puts the word Berserk in Berserker. Next up with Invincible Spree, this is your clutch survival skill. Don't play this on auto, because keep in mind it's got a 60-second cooldown, but this makes you immune to all damage for 4 seconds. It's a mini Berserk Frenzy, increasing your damage, increasing your attack speed, increasing your casting speed. Once you're below 50% health, you become a monster. And then for your final skill, Pride of Valor, pushing out a massive magical AoE debuff, slowing all enemies, reducing their impact resistance, and smashing them with 480% attack damage. You're going to want to use this at the start of any major combo chain. This pairs beautifully with Trip and focused follow-ups. Perfect for softening up enemies. This is a guaranteed CC setup. Now let's go over the passives. Berserker's first passive is going to increase your max HP. The second passive is going to increase your max defense. Now this next passive, Armor Defense. This is going to passively give you a 20% chance to reflect 15% of the damage back to your attacker. This adds offensive flavor to defense. This synergizes with counterattack and baiting damage. Now your next passive is going to increase your chance to resist debuffs, and your next one is going to decrease the amount of range damage that you take. Follow that up with Determination, where you're going to increase the damage against tripped enemies. Then you're going to have Berserker's Rage, which has a chance to increase your casting speed and your skill damage. And then lastly, the passive that makes you Berserker. Increase your damage based on proportion to lost HP. The lower you get, the more damage you'll deal. Now let's talk PvE. This is where Berserker turns into a bloody blender. As a Berserker, you want to deal consistent AoE burst damage, apply crowd control, sustain through healing and buffs, and maintain debuff uptimes on mobs and bosses. That being said, this is going to be your best PvE skill rotation. For debuff and prep, you're going to want to start out with Pride of Valor. Now to land some AoE and a trip, you're going to move into the Spin Strike chain. Now for mob control and a slow, you'll move into the Leap Attack chain. And then once you're in there, you're going to follow that up with the Sword of Valor chain for some major combo DPS. Now this is where things start to ramp up, and for sustain and a major damage boost, you're going to use Berserk Frenzy, and follow that up with an additional buff using Warrior's Battle Cry. Now the last skill in your toolkit that's going to benefit you massive in PvE is Slam Down. This will be situational if you can land a successful trip. This is going to be your ideal setup, as with this rotation, you lead with debuffs, trip setups, and major AoE, then you rotate into a sustain mode with Berserk Frenzy once enemies are controlled. This offers constant CC where enemies can't fight back. This gives you high uptime on impact resistance reduction, which means more knockdowns, more slam down windows, and cycle control. Now let's get into the PvP Berserker. Now if you haven't fought one yet, you should know that Berserkers are a complete trap. If you get too close to a Berserker, it's already too late. In PvP, the Berserker controls enemy movement, chains knockdown and stuns, bursts enemies while they're vulnerable, and survives clutch moments with invulnerability. This is going to be your full breakdown for the best rotation in PvP. For engage, taunt, and stun, you're always going to start things off with pull in. Then you're going to want to land a quick trip, where Sword Blast is perfect for this. Now if you can land that trip, Slam Down amplifies this combo, and in a trip reaction, counterattack, perfect. Now if you're in a sticky spot, Invincible Spree is going to be your lifeline. And if you need to add pressure, if you're trying to finish an enemy off, Berserk Frenzy is going to offer you that burst damage and healing. These are going to be all the skills you need for PvP. You initiate the fight with a CC chain. Each skill feeds into the next control point. You can survive burst, re-engage, and dish out more pain. And this works even better when you're baiting enemy skills into your invulnerability window with Invincible Spree. The crits, the healing, the buffs from Berserker Frenzy make you a self-sustaining damage tank. Complete PvP nightmare. So if you're serious about wanting to melt enemies, here's the stat priorities that you need to aim for. Melee damage percent, crit rate, cooldown reduction, and max HP. This is going to synergize perfectly with your kit, allow you to be a damage-dealing monster while being a sufficient tank. Your aim is to be unkillable, and this will get you there. So the challenge of mastering the Berserker, here's the catch. None of these knockdowns are guaranteed. Timing is everything. Not all skills are guaranteed. With only a 30 to 50% proc rate, when it works, you're a god of war. HP's low, your frenzy's active, immune to damage, and every hit heals you. So if you love timing-based, bloodthirsty gameplay with brutal payoffs, Berserker might just be the class of your dreams. That's all I got for you guys. If you aren't playing Odin yet, you can download the game from the link that I got in the description of this video. You should definitely come play. You'll find me on server 9. Do me a favor, throw this video a like and subscribe if you guys aren't already, so you can stay tuned for all my future videos. I appreciate you all. Stay blessed. I hope you guys have a great night. I'll see you on the next one.